All right, folks, back for part two. As you can see, I've turned it around to the header side of the motor, or more commonly called the clutch side of the motor. So we were at the motor in part one, went over all the cooling, the forks, and all that good stuff. Let's continue with the exhaust. What the hell's that? Okay, it's just a smudge. So this is a Paul Turner Type 6. It is not the Paul Turner High Rev, which is mostly what you will see when they do come up, and they are super awesome exhaust also. That this is incredibly rare. I haven't seen one for sale before it, and I haven't seen one for sale after it, so I don't think that they made a whole lot of it. And to me, Paul Turner's Honda, man, especially back then. He was doing all the stuff for the works bikes and all that good stuff like that. And so I wanted to find a Paul Turner pipe. Also, I think it's the best looking pipe. You see how it kind of curls around and it's pretty seamless. It mounts weird. It mounts to your motor mount there. And it's kind of hard to get to, but other than that, it's a great header pipe. I got lucky and found it with a really rare silencer, and it is just beautiful also. And I've never seen one of these come up for sale before or after also. So big shout out to my friend Dennis. That's who sold it to me. I redid it, of course. He repacked it, which was very nice before he sold it to me. But yeah, that is my first attempt to Cerakote. It turned out wonderful, and I have not looked back. And I've Cerakoted now 3 exhausts, including the bike that I'm just getting done with in here that has a Cerakoted exhaust, and that's specifically designed for headers. That's certain Cerakote, so it's over 1,000 degrees, and it doesn't turn color or anything like that, you know, after it gets hot. And so yeah, and it's smooth, very smooth. Now you can only get them in certain colors, which is a shame, and so that's the only black, which is fine. I didn't need everything gloss on it, which if they offered gloss, I probably would have went with it because I'm a nut. So, but it turned out great. Yeah, so that's the exhaust. You'll hear it here soon. Let me turn the gas on, get some flow. Shake that sucker up. It's been a while. Okay, so my mission on this bike was to basically have it as much Honda as possible. And to me, Mugen is Honda. To anybody that, you know, has studied it in depth, they'll tell you the same thing. Ask any JDM people, you know, what Mugen is to them also. It's just the most exotic stuff that you can possibly find. But yeah, so all my hoses are clear. I like to see what's going on. If you can see up through there. I do run this bike with airbox lid off, but it will run with the airbox lid on. It just likes the air more. I do have a Calfab swing arm. Just the way the bike was going design wise, I just went with the stock swing arm. I'm glad I did. It just, again, I wanted to be as much Honda as possible. The rear tires are the Atsu 8-tracks, and they are the 903s. These are new old stock hand cut tires. So someone went and hand cut them, you know, for better grip, and they look great. I mean, if you're building a bike like this, you really want these tires. It sets it off, you know. And again, they're 40-year-old tires, and they look great. They perform terrible. I don't care who you are. You try to tell me that those things perform good. Oh, well, you need to be on the right track, all that stuff. No, they're terrible. I mean, they look awesome, but you probably want lawnmower tires, honestly. It's probably the best tires you can get for something like this, for a short course bike. You can't tell how short it is, how much lower to the ground it is, but it's about 3 inches lower, I believe I measured. It's some in between 2 to 3 inches lower. Even the front end's been lowered a little bit. So I will do a video before I sell that other ATC250R that I'm just getting done with them side by side. That one is a lot taller, and obviously this one is wider. So another reason why I went with the 1985 ATC250R swing arm, the factory swing arm, is because the short course bike, flat track bike, whatever you like to call it, depending on where you live probably, the one I saved, it had this really rare Durablue, a 1985 only axle, and I think it's like a +4. No, it's probably +5. I don't know, somewhere in there. I'll have to measure it again, but it's quite a bit wider, as you can see. But they don't make it anymore, nor do they make the adjustable dog bone. You can see in here, this thing here is adjustable, so you can adjust the length, and that is going to lower your bike. They don't make that anymore for the 1985 also. So all of this stuff is from 1985, and obviously this is a 1985 bike. That's the way I wanted to keep it. Turned out cool. I really like it. The 1986 swing arm's a little bit better as far as how the brake setup goes, but that's about it. I got a custom aluminum skid plate, which again is anodized gold. And I found this cool thing from Japan. So, competition use only. Again, all the wiring, South Texas Banshee. The seat is brand new foam, professionally redone, seamless. So it's you know, it looks stock. And I had her do the Mugen in the Honda font, and it just turned out beautiful in my opinion. The Pro Link is done in cadmium, if you can see that in there. Most of the stuff that's going to get a lot of wear, dirt on it, sand, all that good stuff is cadmiumed. Axle, that's all gold zinc, along with your hubs and your spacers. Everything's done. Went with the dual row carrier bearing. Just nice. There's a lot of upgrades on this bike, you know, newer stuff, stator, all that good stuff that I wanted to make. I know I'm going to miss a ton of stuff. Hopefully that will come up in the comments. You know, if there's something I am missing, you have questions about something, please let me know. And so obviously they make, you know, it may not be obvious to some, but they do make greasable bolts these days. This bike had grease zerks installed because back then, you know, you couldn't get those as far as I know. And so it's just something cool. And then they also put one on the neck. And so I kept those. I just thought it was really neat. I tried to keep and preserve some of the stuff that was on the flat track bike when I got it. Keep a little bit of its soul. You can see I kept the headlight wiring in case I want to go on a night ride, which sometimes I do around the neighborhood. You can ask my neighbors. I had to go with a 1986 sprocket from Durablue because Well, to run the dual bearings in this kind of carrier, it was designed around a stock carrier back then. What else? Tail light, brand new. There's a guy making them out of Canada, so super nice. On the front axle, I went with billet spacers, and I kid you not, that probably saved at least a pound. Like, those things are so heavy, and man, you can get those spacers for like 25 bucks, you know, and they look nice, and it's just an upgrade. I stopped caring about lightening the damn thing up when I put that axle on. The axle is so much heavier and so much heavier duty that it really makes the rear end a little bit heavier. But you ain't been in that thing for nothing. I mean, it is thick, very thick. So yeah, all the brake lines, all the brake master cylinders have been restored. I don't do it. I send that to a guy that does them as like a side gig, and he's pretty fair with them, like $200 or $300 for a rebuilt proper ATC reservoir. As you can see, I have the Honda line guard on there. A lot of them came with that. I like to leave those off a lot, but I felt like for the flat track kit, I'll put it on. Again, you can kind of see in here, I can't say enough good things about that wiring harness, man. I mean, it's beautiful. They do a good job over there. Very good job. So yeah, that's about it. I'll start this bad boy up. It hasn't been started in a while. I'm gonna have to put the phone down because it needs choke, and then I need to pop that choke off. So maybe not. Maybe I don't have to put it down. New controls. This is your view from the point of view of sitting on it. All the aluminum's been polished. Just a ton of work. And I'm really proud the way it came out. All right, one moment. Takes forever for this thing to warm up. Again, I don't know if that sound is coming through. It's definitely different sounding. And make no mistake, this thing is nasty, nasty fast. Well, I hope you guys are enjoying it. I have a ton more of information if you guys want. If you want to put down the comments that you'd like some vintage ATV history on the Mugen stuff, I'm sure that I could just sit and bore you to death. But I did do this in 2 parts, in case you do get bored. Again, thank you to Tricycle Guy. If you go to over his channel, wish him a happy Pride Month from his buddy Lance. Well, till next time, folks, have a good summer. I will be videoing that bike here really soon that I just got done, and it will be for sale again. I'll go through that with fine-tooth comb, but it is beautiful. And I'll have these out there together again so you guys can see the differences in height and all that good stuff. Yeah, thanks for watching, and again, if you have any more questions, shoot me a holler. Do one more rev.